Franchise record 153 points and a win over the Jazz. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's do it.
Took away. Yes, but this get your money's worth out.
Presented to you by the BIRDSALL Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk, located at 19 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you or someone you know has been involved in an accident. The BIRDSALL Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Chaz 5 and Chris joining us tonight. Also, I'm sure Lito will be coming. 5 will start. Pause. Damn, that was bad. 5, I will start with you. CJ McCollum, 913 from deep. What did you see from him tonight?
Hey, bro. Anytime CJ sees drop coverage, it's curtains, man. Like, what are y'all thinking? Dude scored 20 points. Let's say, like, dude's averaged 20 points for like his entire career against defenses playing drop coverage. And the Utah Jazz, the team from Utah decided, like, hey, let's do this versus this guy that can really shoot the ball. And I think the one thing about CJ I like from tonight, or just his execution, a lot of his screens were like really high, right? Like the idea between him and Jonas or him and Larry, like that allows you to have room for these pull-ups to actually be threes and not twos. In the grand scheme of things, you know, to the naked eye, you may not see it as a big idea but no, CJ shooting those threes and not twos allows for everything to flourish, allow more room to be created. He had it going early and he shot the first one from like 35 plus, and I was like, oh, this might be one of them nights, and it was.
Chaz, you've talked about CJ, how he's changed up his shot profile. Like it's just very evident what he has done coming to the offseason, trying to be the best version of himself for this team. Something like tonight where, yes, he struggled. He went 1 of 7 from deep against the Phoenix Suns. He struggled. But when you see him again tonight, go 9 of 13, a season high 33 points, you talk about him all the time. He's the professional in the building. He's the guy that shows up to work, stays after late, first one in the building, last one leaving. And even tonight, when he was talking with Jen Hale, he said, I couldn't stomach that. I went 1 of 7 against the Suns. Like I got in extra work, and tonight it really showed.
Yeah, man. CJ was out there shooting like I was born. Hit every shot. And the thing, well, almost every shot. And it's funny because his efficiency is actually better than we even see translated in the box score, because I thought he was going for that record again later on. And man, CJ's incredible. Probably one of the best guards. Gotta be second best, third best guard player in Pelicans history already thus far. Incredible professional. Just his the wherewithal that he has to get to the line, know what the team needs when they need it, makes a lot of momentum changing plays, sometimes for the worse, but since this year, 90% of them have been from for the better. This incredible this chemistry on the court. Thought he had some really good second chance rebounds as well, aside from his shooting. Guy's just phenomenal. Again, CJ, man, when you don't see CJ's name in certain conversations, it kind of discredits the whole conversation to me. Like when it kind of gets to that point, like this man not getting no All-Star reserve consideration, no kind of love. Like what we doing here in his entire career? Because this isn't even the best CJ we've seen ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? CJ's been better than this, and this CJ is really good right now. So shout out to him, man.
Chris, is CJ an All-Star?
No.
In your opinion, is he an All-Star?
No.
Why?
He's not an All-Star.
I don't think the Pelicans have an All-Star. I think it's too many. I think they got, I think Brandon, Zion, and CJ are all kind of, clumped up around each other right now when we're talking about like impact and stats. While if you look into some of the deeper numbers, it would probably support a guy like CJ making it. To me, if I had to pick somebody, I think the better question is if I had to pick a Pelican, who would I pick? I would pick CJ McCollum. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that the Pelicans have an All-Star right now, unless they take off real quick before the end of the All-Star break, and we're talking about them as the number 2 or number 1 seed. There's just too many other players in the Western Conference right now, I think, and specifically at the guard position. outplaying what even CJ's putting out there right now. So, we know how it goes, man.
CJ Lito, welcome to the show. CJ shooting a career high 43.4%. And this is a guy for 10 years now, his average over 20. He's having a career year with the Pelicans, shooting 43% on a volume of 8 three-pointers a night. I mean, you see this performance again, Lito. The guy's he's just a professional. He's just a professional. And some people want him traded. Some people want him on the bench. Like, this guy shows up every night.
When I look at CJ and to answer your question, he's not an all-star, but he is an all-star. Like, he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not, but technically at some point in his career, he should have been. I agree with Chaz with that point too. When you look at CJ's game, man, you see a guy who's bought in. He's changed his whole shot profile in order to fit what this team needs. You saw him work out this summer. You know what I'm saying? You saw him when he was coming off the lung situation. You and Five have been in these areas with him, and he's, he came in shape. Like, this shit is not a game to him. He's game ready. Like, he doesn't take anything for granted. Doesn't take anything off. And man, look, fuck all that though. He's shooting the fuck out the ball. He's shooting the basketball. Like, he's not fucking around. And he talking shit out there. I forgot who that was at the end of the game that fouled him, but he, you know what I'm saying? Like, little boy. Like, I just really think that you said top 2, top 3 guard for sure. I think a top 2 guard for sure in the history of this team. Like, he brings so much to this team that's not even basketball related. Like, the amount of the profile that your team gets just because he's on the team, right? With his place as president, his goodwill in the community. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that shit don't matter because he can shoot the fuck out the basketball.
Yeah. And Five, you see him almost every day. You see him in practice. You see him pregame workout. Kind of like, I guess, what does it look like to see a professional, or what is it like to see a professional take it from the practice facility to the game?
Nah, it's kind of crazy. His consistency is probably the thing that I pick up the most. You can really watch your clock by the type of shots he's going to shoot pregame. Like, it's going to be detailed. It's going to be the same exact shots every time. No matter if he had a really good game the night before or he had a bad one, it's going to be the exact same thing. He's going to go from dribbling to he's going to start mid-range, then he's going to start shooting threes, then it's going to be pull-up. Like, it's the exact same thing. The exact same thing. It's like clockwork. Yeah, I wish CJ would have been an all-star. I would have hoped for him to be an all-star. I think when I said this when he got traded here.
This is a great comment.
I thought he brought stability here. I think that was the thing that he brought. It was like a steady hand that could be on the basketball court. And honestly, I think he's been even more steady in the community rather just on the basketball court than anything. I think that's been pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because shout out to CJ for what he's done for the city, man. Donating his own personal funds for 10 lucky kids, $1 million for 10 kids in the New Orleans area to go to college. Like people don't understand, that is a huge deal. Just shout out CJ. He's just, we're lucky to have him here for sure. Enterprise. So I see y'all's comments. I'm trying to star him. So any questions I'll have, we'll get to the later part of the show. Chaz, Herb Jones tonight. He was just Herb, but going 4-4 from deep. Did you see the mid range?
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
8 of 9 from the field. Would you say when he's got going like that? I don't know how you beat this team. I really don't.
Yeah, a lot of that's like that Michael effect. It's like, oh man, if this guy is gonna beat us, then we just gonna lose tonight. Like that. That's when I'm talking about more so when the Suns were kind of together. Herb was just, it's such a disservice, bro, because it's like Herb is like an offensive lineman, whereas you only really notice him when he's doing something bad. Like when like the quarterback gets sacked, that's what you say, who the fuck is number 78? Like, that's how, just effective Herb is, defensively, and when he's clicking like he's clicking offensively, because he was going from different parts of the floor tonight. It's just a sight to behold. He was a guy with a huge momentum shifting sequence of plays. We had got that block still behind the back save to I forget who it was, but outlet pass to Brandon. Brandon, of course, doesn't pass the ball. One of his many shots we'll talk about later. He lays it in. Another sequence gets another steal. Of course, CJ passes the ball this time. Someone with some sense, and you get a super highlight play. But that's a incredible. It wasn't a shot attempt, but you could say it was like almost an 8-point swing in favor of the Pelicans. So that was incredible by her, man. Shout out to him.
And I can't wait because Chris and Lito did a show on Herb Jones that's dropping tomorrow night. So I'm really excited to tune into that one. Chris, he sent me this tonight. I didn't catch the game. It's funny, Chris. I didn't catch the game till the end of the third, but I saw that you had tagged me in this. I'm like, oh, Herb must be going off. Go ahead.
No, that was right after that sequence that Chaz mentioned. I mean, I think by that time he was already like 4 from 3, so it's probably other moments where I probably could have sent you that. But I think the sequence with the block and like at a moment in which they needed it, you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of changed the game. It swung the momentum back. You know, there was a time in that third quarter where Sexton was going off. I think Chris Dunn had a couple back-to-back baskets, 1-3, 1 layup at the rim, and then the lead had got down about 8 or 10. Herb makes those plays, leads back up to 12. Jazz calls a timeout. The game is never close ever again after that. So that was the perfect time to send a miracle your way.
And by the way, Lito, we are watching Friday tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about it.
As a family?
Me and Kristen are gonna watch it together because she's never seen it either.
No.
We're getting Michaela out too. We bring Michaela out too. She can come out too.
If you're gonna wait 30 years, you need to watch it with the whole family. Bring Mookie and the other dog.
We'll bring them all. It'll be a movie night tomorrow. I'm pretty excited for it.
Friday on a Wednesday is crazy.
Lito's Herb Jones untradeable.
Shit, man, you tell me. I feel like, you know, a lot of people on this panel have been saying Herb is the leader of this team. A lot of people have been saying that like, bro, hold up. That was a great analogy Chaz had about offensive line. Like, that was cold.
Analogy.
That was cold as hell.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Six flat.
Yes, sir. Nah, I think it's cool to see Herb's value around the league from other fan bases and fans and GMs and people who hold him in the same regard that we do. I'll be honest, like we're really blessed to see that type of defense every night on this team. Just in person. Like, that's not something that you get around the NBA very often. Like, it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers out there who can't play defense. Like, don't give effort, don't try. And that man is literally out there he's fucking plays up. He's breaking spirits. He's crushing wills. He got a block and damn near mossed John Collins on a steal. Like, he just, I don't know, bro.
Sorry, Leo.
These comments.
We had Beans, Ross from Alcatraz.
That's hilarious.
Witness protection.
Auntie house? That's crazy.
Piano man. Auntie house.
At the set off Roseanne.
That's good stuff, man. They got some creative people in these comments.
Ross, you're at the game tonight. Let's talk Zion. What'd you see from Zion tonight? I thought I hit the group chat with this. I think it's the best he's looked all year, in my opinion. I mean, physically. Pause.
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. Look, and I don't mean this to be in like I'm not trying to just be a downer. I thought he looked in shape. I thought he looked. I think I even said it in the chat that I felt like his effort was at a level that you don't traditionally see. He still does get a little winded, like quicker than you would maybe expect. but his overall energy and effort level is unquestionably up. There's just no doubt when you watch it. He's getting up and down the floor, with more urgency. He's contesting shots in a way that he just doesn't all the time. Whenever you can tell he's not himself. So I'm not going to say that he's there, but I'm going to say that he's getting close. That he certainly looks closer to being back to whatever his full self is than he has at other points in the season.
Five. Did you want to say something there?
Yeah. Why doesn't he look like? Why does he get winded? Right? Why? Because you play him 6 minutes at a fucking time. Like it does. He's not gonna get in more shape if you continue to keep him at the same. Why are the rotations so concrete? Like it's almost like you can't get. I only can move until I get past go. I can only do this until I get to this point. Like you have to push him a little bit. I mean, can we get to 7 minutes? Can we get to 8 minutes? Can we get to 10 minutes in the first quarter? I think that allowed you to, be more, decisive about your rotations. If you can allow Zion to play a little bit longer. Like, I don't get why we have to have him so consolidated to these antiquated minutes. It's stupid.
Yeah, Chaz. To Five's because five's right. To get him to get more out, I guess. Where would you want to see Zion? Do you want to play the whole first quarter? Like, what's your ideal situation for Zion in the first quarter? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. Like, do you think he should play the whole first quarter? Should be 8 minutes? Like, where are you at with it?
I think 8 minutes is probably a more ideal scenario because you're checking them back in at like around the 2 minute mark. So it's this real weird stop and start thing. It's almost like motherfucker, do you want him to get injured? What do you want? And then tonight, the most egregious part tonight, and I'm gonna talk about how good I thought he played, but in the third quarter, you checked them out at the exact same time point. And traditionally, the third quarter is where teams go for the kill. Every time this man makes 1 or 2 buckets in a row, or like this crazy play, you check him out. It's like you can set your watch to it. It's not like this motherfucker got a couple turnovers here and a brick here, a defensive lapse, and you take him out. That would make sense. Shout out to you, Thomas. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Thomas.
Shout out to everybody in the super chat. We definitely gonna get to y'all.
Yeah,
comments.
we'll get to y'all's comments for sure.
Yeah, but it's like, what's the purpose here? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have this big, like, let me start with the positive. I thought he played really well defensively. I thought defensively, I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. And the league need to do something about this because Jordan Clarkson, I'm tired of this fucking hair. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this dumbass extension, these dumbass extensions. I'm sick of this. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And the stupid thing is like, bro, we see you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he knows we know, and he don't care. It's a total disregard for his peers in the NBA. But Zion, defensively, he was really good tonight. I liked all his 3-point contests. He had that 1 foul. Can't foul a 3-point shooter, but I do like the contest. The intentions were there. Running, like I saw Zion sprint faster than I ever saw him sprint.
Hey, I've been seeing him do this more, which means he's getting out in transition looking for the lob. Like he's like looking for it more. I guess like 3 times.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later. Put a star on that comment.
What's
what happened?
Something live that should have been thrown. But
yeah. I asked that question.
Yeah, but
and it looked as egregious in person as it looked on TV. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
Chemistry with Hawkins looked incredible. Bounce, finishing ability. Overall, I thought he had a very vintage Zion like game. It's a shame that the effort was wasted though.
Chris, what is your, I guess, ideal situation for a Zion first quarter substitution? Or would you like to see him play the whole quarter? Because I had a couple conversations about this, and so, a lot of people have different opinions. I would like to see him try, as Five saying, try to finish the first quarter, but that would just be me.
It's difficult because I think that the staff or the rotation is probably at this point probably trying to play the long game and how they handle his minutes game to game. And considering they've gotten this far, maybe that's the thinking. They're thinking, I'd rather play him 27, 30 minutes and stick to this schedule because it's working so far and see him play over 60 games. And maybe we're talking in March and April where you completely change it and you switch it up and you have him playing more minutes because, I mean, I get what Chaz and what Five is saying. I could assume, I mean, my only assumption is that they just keep trying to think about ways of not putting him in situations that's going to allow him to get hurt, especially as he gets in. Like I saw Zion do things. Like one of the things that that I think is forgotten sometimes when watching him play is that the more in shape that Zion gets, the more reckless he gets on the floor. The more he tries certain things that he wouldn't try when he wasn't in shape. So you'll see him go up for more crowded rebounds, where more one-legged rebounds, to where it's 4 or 5 people around him and his knee is standing right there. Those are things he would typically stay away from when he's not in shape. And this is just me guessing off of a cautious kind of perspective. Them trying to keep him from himself, because Zion only really knows how to play one way once he feels like himself and he's completely engaged. And possibly that that could be the situation. So as long as they keep the motherfucker healthy, as long as he's able to play the next game, I don't give a shit if he plays 6 minutes in the first quarter or 7 minutes. If he's playing the next game, that's my focus at the moment. Now, if we're in March, we're at the end of the year, and he's still playing, a rotation that doesn't fit playoff style basketball, then yeah, I think at that point it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, Lito, I was gonna have you talk about JV. Do you want to add anything about the Zion thing?
I want to add that I agree with everything he said. He looks like he's getting back to himself, or whatever his best self was last year. Like he's not at that point, but he's getting close to it. I do want to say this though. We and Chaz is going to expound on this later, but we still have not. It's hard to pick on a lot of stuff when they score 153 points, and I'm not trying to do that at all. However, I do want to say that I'm still seeing Brandon and Zion at their best individually apart from each other with the other guys, and not with playing necessarily with each other. And the allocation of minutes make it hard, as far as you see the 6 minutes here. You saw when Brandon started to cook a little bit, they took him out of the game also. So it's hard for them to even get in a rhythm with each other, because technically when they got it going, they getting yanked out the game too. And shout out to Chris, because I saw the tweets about the Kumbaya offense tonight, and I finally
Well, that was
what you was talking about.
I was gonna get to Chris a Chris tweet, and I thought it was one of the best things that I read was that Jonas, and this is from Chris Connor, and you can follow him at Impatient Bull. Jonas could have had an attitude about not starting the third, came out and has been hustling like it never happened, professional. And Chris is so right, because he could have had an attitude. He could have just, whatever. But once again, JV, as we've all said, professional, leader, wants to win, and he'll do whatever it takes. And what'd you just think of that? I guess let's talk about Jonas, and then what'd y'all think about the Larry Nance starting second half? Lito, I was going to you. That's
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You give me no direction.
So what did you think about JV coming off the bench in the second half? Leadership.
Man, I think it don't matter when you could play JV wherever you want to, like wherever you put him in the game, he's gonna play. He's a professional. It's what happens when you have an adult in the locker room. It's like Five said about CJ. You bring accountability. Professionalism. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you have to work at. He's been in different organizations. He has been kind of in my opinion, when he was with Memphis in that playoff run, he was their best player. He's been in Toronto. He's played basketball at a high level in the playoffs. And, I think he understands he's going to have to sacrifice certain things at some point, certain instances of the game. As you saw tonight, like Willie, I mean, it's not a secret. He wants to give Nance those minutes, right? And Nance fits his particular curriculum of basketball better than say Jonas does. But the thing you saw tonight, and it's gonna happen against Utah, you lose out on the rebounding when you take JV out. But JV comes back in and he does what JV does, bro. He's just a consummate professional, and he played really hard. I think he had 12 and 17 or 17 and 12, something like that.
Yeah, he had
17 and 12 and
in
3
23 minutes.
That's impressive.
I mean,
on 13 attempts.
It's pretty impressive.
5 threes also. That's impressive.
Ross, what did you think of Larry Nance starting? Let's go Ross in 5. What did you think of Larry Nance starting for Jonas in the second or in the third quarter? Second half.
To be honest with you, I wonder if it had more to do, and I think I mentioned this to you guys, was that they were looking at Jonas's foot a little bit late in the second quarter, and I kind of chalked it up almost as more of a like related to that. Like they were messing with his shoe, and so I don't know if he went back in there and got another tape, got taped up again or something. I didn't take it, I don't think, as like a message. Maybe it was that. But I looked at it a little different, I think. But having said that, you're absolutely right. Whatever the meaning for it was, Jonas responded, I thought, incredibly. I mean, he was active. He was aggressive. We had a lead there, but I thought there was a little juncture where it got to like 10, and it felt like he made 2 or 3 of those plays to get it from like 10 to 15 that were really important in sort of putting this game away. So kudos to him. But I'm less convinced that it was like some kind of message.
5, because he had in that stretch that Ross just pointed out, he had I think Joel said or AD said 7 points and 5 rebounds in that stretch.
To be honest, I mean, I've said this to y'all before. I think JV plays better with the second unit anyway. If you're JV, I would want to play with them anyway because at least I'll see the ball, right? You know what's crazy? In the first quarter, this is probably one of the only times you see this. That was a push ahead pass from Zion Williamson because he had the ball in his hands to a ceiling Jonas Valanciunas up the court in the first quarter. When have we seen that before? Probably it's been a while. But putting the ball in Zion's hands just makes sense. And I think Zion would just be honest. I mean, JB would probably rather play with CJ and Zion with spacers, because he'll have more space to operate. He'll be able to rebound and go. If I'm JB, cool. Like if Larry starts, whatever. As long as I'm playing and I can get the ball and I can be involved, it just makes more sense.
Yeah. All right. So look, we're gonna get to fan questions. Chaz, you'll be up first, but before we got to hear from DraftKings, so we're gonna take about a minute break here, and then we'll get to fan questions. Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. New customers can bet on the big game and turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BOOT. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58 with code BOOT. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. All right, Chaz, first question to you. Yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button, please. From X, and Chaz, Zion was jumping out of the gym tonight. It was great to see. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Do you think this is kind of like the best Zion's looked all year? Do you like just physically wise? Like, do you see? I guess I'm trying to. Do you think he's in the best shape right now?
Well, you saw like not that I was like glancing, but you when they did show this gentleman on the camera, you saw like the stripe, like starting to get like some striations in his arm. You could always tell by Zion's neck if he's in shape. Like he looked explosive. The sprint looked crazy. Like, truthfully, that's what really caught my attention. The sprint looked crazy to me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, I hadn't seen that in a while. So you can still see that Duke guy still there somewhere. He just probably under about 15 pounds. So, well, I'm talking about an additional 15 pounds. I mean, 15 pounds from today. I think he needs to lose an additional 15 pounds. But he's getting to where he needs to be, I feel like. But to Five's point earlier, he yo, man, you gotta run your horses, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you expect him? Look across the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you expect him to continue to graduate to a higher level to get into that upper echelon class if you don't push him to his limits? That's how you get stronger. That's how you build muscle, et cetera, et cetera. You don't want a guy like this to feel like, well, shit, I'm doing everything I could do except for rebounding, but I'm doing everything I could do. I'm getting in better shape. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I get 9 fucking attempts. Like, what's the point? Like, you don't want him to get that attitude.
Yeah.
So you gotta reward these people, man.
Yeah. Chris, from Sean Mitchell, when you guys get a chance, can you please help me understand how trading JV for JA makes sense?
If you make the trade, you are swapping abilities, basically. So there are certain things that Jared Allen does that Jonas doesn't do well. There are certain things that Jonas does that Jared Allen may not do as well. Like you're not gonna drop the ball down in the post to Jared Allen for consecutive, like you're not gonna run your offense necessarily through Jared Allen. While I see his mid-range game has improved a little bit. It probably is similar. Jared might be the better overall rebounder, a little bit better of a defender, more aggressive at the rim, but you lose the 3-point shooting that Jonas gives you. So, it's really just a swap of abilities. If you feel like Jared Allen plays better in space, if you feel like he's a little bit more athletic, he's more of a rim running big, someone that you don't have to have a game plan for in your offense for him to feel included, then, that would be, salary aside, we're just talking player for player. I'm assuming, that would be the benefit of adding Jared Allen. And he's playing some of the best basketball of his career right now as well. So,
yeah. Lito, so from BG2, 12 attempts is still nowhere near enough from Zion. I think this is a really good topic to talk about because, I once again, I got home late in the third quarter. I looked at the box score. I texted y'all. I said, Zion's got 7 attempts. And look, they had 115 points. I understand it. I was still shocked they had 7 field goal attempts heading into the third. And there were some mixed comments of maybe he's not demanding it. Well, the defense is, he's just playing what the defense is giving, is scheming. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think if Zion wants more field goal attempts, he just simply has to do one thing. Just one thing. Hey, that's all you got to do. If that's what you want, go get it. It ain't that difficult. You're the best player on the team. Like, for one, I agree. It is insane that that amount of field goal attempts is crazy. Especially like when he started cooking, when he started getting on a roll, like he looked like he was destined for a crazy game. Yeah, and that's the other. I guess that's the side of it too. Like Willie said that he was going to employ him as point Zion, and he did. He stuck to that. He stuck to that mantra. But the thing is like while he's point Zion, he can still look for his own shot too. Like you don't necessarily just have to set up the guys in the corner or whoever. Willie coached a good game, but there were times where, and Ross said this in the chat, there were times where like Larry was in the paint when on a potential drive or such and such was right here. And again, you take Brandon out or you take Trey out and you put non-shooters in with him. So I guess, those 12 attempts were what he felt like he could see at the time. Me personally, like I think he should lead. He's probably not going to lead the team in attempts just because of his field goal percentage is crazy. Like he's going to get 25 on probably 12 shots anyway. You know what I'm saying? So his shot count is not going to be that high. But yeah, I would like to see more than 12. But again, they won by 150. So it's like,
right. Yeah, it's like how can you complain? But Ross, you were the one that kind of like clapped back a little bit and said, "Well, the defense is they're collapsing on him. He's just making the right read, the right pass." So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, there are definitely times where it feels like, for me, it's the times when he's not getting the basketball where I complain more than it was a night like tonight where I felt like he had the basketball a lot and was making the right read and the right play. I just feel, I mean, what do you have, 12 tonight? 12 attempts?
Yeah.
For him to get to 20 tonight, he'd have had to take some bad shots. Like, and I don't know, like, and it's hard for me to subscribe to that. Like, it's hard for me to sit here and say, yeah, I want him, like, he needs to take 20 shots tonight. If he'd have taken 20 shots tonight, it would have been 6 of those would have been heavily contested, 2 defenders on one bad, like, layup going away from the basket. I don't, it's easier for a wing player to take 20 shots a night than it is for a player like Giannis. I mean, for a player like Zion to take 20 shots a night, because 1, he's not that tall, and 2, whenever the defense collapses or whenever the opposing team center is just sitting right there waiting, I don't know. I thought he played a great game tonight. I really did. I didn't think he forced anything. It's more about what can we do around him to facilitate more space, because I don't think him taking 20 shots tonight would have been a good thing. I don't. There wasn't opportunity for him to do that in the absence of him pulling up from the elbow, which he's not going to do.
Justin, can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Everybody can. Yeah, go ahead. Someone's got background noise. I don't know who it is.
Who is it? Is it still here?
Yeah.
All right.
It sounds like somebody watching the live.
Somebody TV. Yeah.
So here's my thing with Zion. Shoot a fucking jumper, man. Like, you want to take more shots, and teams are guarding you. They're guarding you in the restricted area. Shoot a jumper. Like, it wasn't like shoot the ball, bro. Like look. All right. So say all right, or go right. It's difficult to me. Like, I mean, if you're going left every single time, and I can foul you, and they're not gonna fucking call it, and everything is either is once it contested, it's pretty much a layup. Zion ain't gonna be too many contested dunks over centers consistently. That's just the way. So, bro, shoot the fucking ball, because they're not changing their defense. They are clearly going to allow Trey Murphy and Jordan Hawkins, which is insane, in the corner to shoot threes. They're gonna allow CJ McCollum. Their defense is designed around you. So you want to shoot the ball more, the usage is there. Now, the problem I do have, somebody mentioned it earlier, is where he got Chris Dunn on him, and you're not throwing the ball down to him. Like, he got him sealed there. He doing his job. Get on the ball. The matchup is there. We can't put together the entry pass. But if we're talking about Zion just having the ball, and Walker Kessler is sitting in the restricted area waiting for him to go left, bro, shoot the fucking jumper. Shoot the jumper that you work on. Shoot the pull up. You know what I'm saying? Or go right. I mean, that would be my advice. I mean, I would assume that's an additional 3 to 5 attempts right there.
At least.
Easy.
At least.
I mean,
easy.
At least.
If he wants to get to 22, 24, 25 shots a game, it's literally the only way. It's the only way.
Yeah. And they're not right. Like, they still miss him in ways that they probably shouldn't. There's still some oops that probably should be thrown. There's still some opportunities, some serial attempts, and what they don't find them. But, I think he also owes, like, there's probably some responsibility that he plays in this as well, in a way that, some more things that he could probably be doing with the basketball.
I don't think this, to be honest, I don't think this is a good matchup for him to shoot 20 shots a game. I mean, you have multiple 7-footers, and Utah historically has been detrimental to Zion, to say the least, right? Like, he doesn't have great games. I thought this might have been his best game. I would like to see more rebounds. That'd be the only take I take out of this. Thought he was a really good passer. I thought that were times where he was able to walk the ball almost to the paint with no resistance, and see Larry on the seal on the backside and get a layup. Like, that's an intelligent basketball player. Like, not to say like, okay, he shoots the midi, make or miss it. I think it's still a good shot, but he got Larry a great shot. So that's not
Good to great.
Like,
Good to
like
great.
that's not a indictment on Zion not wanting to take the midi. Of course, I would like to see him shoot it, but I thought that was a great pass, a great idea. I think he's a really smart basketball player, right? Like finding Hawk, finding Trey, finding Herb. Like this just wasn't the game for him. Now, if he does this shit against like Sacramento, then we'll have a problem. But versus Utah, which has really good interior presence, like I think he's all right.
Chaz, you want to add on anything with that?
Look, man. Look. Brandon and Zion can't play together. And if you're gonna keep Brandon, you might as well trade Zion because it's pointless. It just doesn't work. We could talk about it. Like, and I don't even know that this motherfucker wants to take more shots. I think he'd be like, well, we winning. Who cares? Like, it's kind of it's stupid. But it's like, bro, this is not the 90s. It's not the early 2000s. This is a stars league. And to make it even more plain, this is a superstars league. I'm going to bring up some numbers. I was waiting for this alley. At least someone threw me the fucking alley. All right. Brandon went 8 of 18 tonight. 0 for 2 from 3 for 18 points. Had 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Played in garbage time when the team was up 20-something for who knows what reason, right? That's when he got a 6 assists. That's more shots than anyone on the Utah Jazz took. That's 3 more shots than anyone on the Utah Jazz took, right? That's 1 more shot than CJ, who was fucking 11 from 17 for 33, 9 for 13. Mind you, CJ was hunting the 3-point record toward the end of the game, right? Brandon is a fucking, I don't want to say black hole, but Brandon's a breach in the fucking levy. Brandon's a possession thief. He has the highest time possession on the fucking team. Like he has the highest time of the ball with the ball in his hands on the team. Zion is ranked. He's averaging 14 shots a game. That number probably goes down tonight. That's ranked about 47th in the league. One might like that. That's
who's
ridiculous.
the number 1 in the league, Chaz? Who's
probably
like number like
probably Shea Luka or somebody like that. But it's just like, bro, what are we doing? Like even I can see in the flow of the game, you got the hot hand, motherfucker. You
Chaz put up 153 tonight.
Yeah, but that's nice. But we talking.
So you don't think? Well, so what you're saying is that you can't. It's not going to be consistent. Like you're not going to do this every
no,
night,
I'm saying he's been consistently bad and consistently doing this. This has been a problem the entire season. This has been a problem when Zion was fat. This is now it's a problem when he's not as fat. This is still a problem. It's an ongoing problem. You can't have this type of offense in the NBA and take, win series and win, because we talk about like, all right, well, maybe they may be preserving Zion. We're just gonna turn it on and it's like after All-Star break. It is like, well, he's at the All-Star break. We presuming that he's gonna be able to do that because now, and we're presuming that everyone's gonna want to go along with that. Tonight, I saw contempt on the floor. I saw contempt for that Point Zion shit. I'm keeping it a fucking dollar. I saw contempt. We all know the man don't like Point Zion. Jen Hale mentions it in the fucking pregame. It's this big point of emphasis. They got the shirts printed. It's a big old motherfucking jamboree. Point Zion is back. Motherfucking shot. Yo, he didn't even take 9 attempts.
Could just, you know what? Chaz could just shoot the mid-range. He literally could. We gotta.
He could, right? He could, and that's on him. That's on him. But let's just say this: motherfucker had 9 attempts tonight, right? 2. Well, he had 12 total. 2 were alleys. 2 were alleys, and 1 was one of his own rebounds. That's 9 fucking attempts. There's no way. There's no team in the league would do that. No team in the league would do something like that. That's insane. And then in the end of the game, you don't even check him back into the game, but you check Brandon back into the game.
When did Zion go out the minute mark? I
don't think did Zion even play in the fucking fourth? He didn't even play in the fourth, I don't think. Did he play in the fourth?
Yeah, I think he came back in briefly.
Okay,
he came back. He came back in the middle of the fourth,
but
like
it's
at some point.
I'm just saying it's too obvious what's happening. Like they're not even trying to hide the shit. It's too obvious. Like,
Well, I
just
mean,
come on.
let's see if they make it. Let's see if they make a change. Lito, can we talk about Naji? Look, let's see if they do it. I don't know. Can we talk about Naji just ignores? See, I missed this. I don't know what happened here. When did this happen? But can we talk about Naji just ignored?
No, I
Zion
do
with
remember.
that?
I do remember that. I remember that.
Does anybody know?
It was like in the third or the fourth. I remember that.
What
It
happened?
was in the third. It was a fast break. Zion literally is pointing up. Naji gets in the air. He passes the ball to JV. JV ends up missing the layup. But like Zion's like he's full out sprint backside, arms up. I think the closest guy is a step above the restricted line. Easy lob. Naji makes this fucking pass routinely, or even attempts this routinely. Naji 3 months ago would have made that shit from half court. He did tonight.
Interesting. Chris from Rick. Kind of surprised I'm saying this, but we need to talk about Dyson's night. I was impressed as fuck, even though he scored 0 points.
I don't.
Yeah, zero.
Of course he has 0. I mean, he tried to get those. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it.
My dog broke it.
Until my dog. Until you gotta listen. You gotta treat your loved ones like this, man. Okay, any of y'all out here that got significant others or children, you gotta keep it real with them, one way or another. When they fucking up, somebody gotta tell them. And in this case, it's me. Nah, he a grown man. He ain't my son. I'm just gonna say loved ones. Okay, family. All right, he fucking up. Like, I don't care. The defense don't surprise me no more. That's a given. That's who he is. He was drafted to do that. The offensive aggressive, like we talked about this in the group chat, bro. And like I'm seeing shit now that I didn't see beforehand. Maybe I feel played now. I was kind of blinded. Dyson go up for a dunk. He get a line drive on the wing. He go up for a dunk, and he knew he wasn't planning on dunking that shit on Walker Kessler. Because if he was, he would have tried to dunk it with his left hand. He went up 2 hands, knowing Walker was gonna catch that motherfucker, and he was gonna foul him. It was gonna be goaltended, or something really bad was gonna happen, one way or another. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, but I don't. My dog just. The 0 points. He tried a 30-foot 3-pointer today. That's not who you are. You don't do that. You see Jose shooting 30-foot 3-pointer. You want to try it? It don't even look natural coming from you, dog. I'm disappointed in my brother, man. I need my dog to be better.
Good boy, dunks in slow motion.
Listen, this is terrible. That boy threw that alley. Listen, the best alley oops are bad passes.
That was a terrible pass.
A horrible pass.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck was he doing there?
He's out of control.
Zion caught that shit on the left side with his left hand. Oh,
bro,
that's crazy. But
Dyson threw that bitch. He threw that bitch blindfolded. He couldn't have been looking. Like, it was no way.
Hey, listen, he don't be looking at the rim at all.
Not even on passes? It's sad, man.
Hey, dog.
AD tried to save him. AD said, yeah, throw that motherfucker up to Cherry West. I like, that was by accident.
He went trying to throw it at the logo.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is sad state of affairs, man. Dyson done broke my dog. He done gave up hope, man. I can't believe this shit.
Dog, Chris used to be defending this man to the death. And he giving up on Dyson.
Wow,
that's tough, man.
That is. Ross from Moo Real. Why does it seem like Trey is regressing?
Because he's hurt. I mean, well, not because he's hurt, because he's playing his way back from injury. I mean, we just did a whole podcast about this. Trey needs time. Like, he needs reps. He needs conditioning. Like, you can just. It was really evident to me tonight where he just doesn't look comfortable yet, and it's like, it's weird to say that a open three is a forced three, but he just has a feel about him where it almost feels like he thinks he has to make every shot, or like because he doesn't quite feel comfortable, pump faking and driving all the way to the basket. It's like even tonight a few times he pump faked and he would drive and he would get himself caught in between, and it's like there's just not a comfort level of playing against live defenders and rotations. He just got to get back into the swing of things. I don't think he's regressing. I think I just disagree with that comment, but he just needs reps. I think you saw it in the fourth quarter where it was like, man, just go fucking play. Like, just go play. He's not regressing. He just is getting himself back into NBA midseason game shape, and it takes more than 18 games after coming off of surgery. I feel like I saw it tonight more than I've seen it earlier in the year. He just needs to play. Just keep running him out there and let him play as much as humanly possible, and he'll be fine in a month.
5 from BG2. You boys think Zion really didn't get picked in the Olympic squad, or already told him he isn't playing?
Yeah, you think Zion Williamson didn't want to play in the Olympics in Paris, where Jordan Brand already has a staple, where Zion's already been and had a commercial? Come on, like let's put 2 and 2 together, Mike. Yeah, I think Zion's past injuries and maybe a little bit of the Pelicans' dysfunction has kind of turned off the NBA, well, let's say the Olympic, pickers towards, the Pelicans players, right? Even I think Brandon Ingram's impact might have negated some of Zion's probability of playing on the team, right? Like the way Brandon kind of fell out of that situation. Yeah, he got picked in the pool, probably just because he was on the last team. I don't know if that's like a great signal for him being able to play on this team, but I think Zion would have wanted to play if he was asked. But I actually want to talk about, Ross's statement a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trey Murphy had a torn meniscus in a year that possibly he's about to get paid. You don't think that young man off of injury is trying his hardest on a team that needed him to play, that missed him a ton? He's forcing everything. It feels like the pressure, for him trying to get paid, and also just allowing his body to get acclimated to the NBA game. Like, he trained all summer and then had a hiccup, boom, that took him out for a couple months. Like, he's not going to be 100. I expected Trey to have games like this. If you didn't, then you just playing 2K. You're not playing real life. You're not seeing it for really what it is. I think probably post All-Star game, maybe he'll find his legs, because that's really what he's missing. And I think he just needs to stop forcing it, right? Allow the game to really come to him, man. I expect him his abilities, right? He got on a fast break today. He pulled up, dribbled tween, and shot. I'm like, that's not you yet. I can see it in you. You eventually will be there, but you can need that at this time and point in the game. That wasn't necessary. But then I like the athleticism of, okay, my shot not going in. Trey Murphy missed a technical free throw, right? The next play down, boom, fuck it. Let me just try to get to the rim. Like, that's a player trying to understand, like, all right, how do I get myself involved? I like the energy he played with on defense. He was picking up cats full court. Like, give these guys a break. Like, every game ain't gonna be 100. It's not, especially for a guy that's trying to get paid.
I'll set 5. Chaz, back to the Zion thing. Were you surprised he was left off the list?
I don't really care about shit like that, honestly. I mean,
why is that?
Because for one, it's like if I take that if I don't take that with a grain of salt, I gotta take everyone's Olympic performance without a grain of salt, or Olympic appearance without a grain of salt. I don't really know Zion for playing no basketball in the off season. I don't know what Zion does in the off season, honestly. But and I know he did turn it down once before. I don't know. Zion is weird. Zion is not like past other like high name, high profile athletes. Zion is a bizarre individual. This is a unique experience. You know what I'm saying? He could have been not invited. You know what I'm saying? He could have been invited. I don't know.
When did he turn down the invite? When did he turn? What invite did he turn down?
Wasn't it like after his? Oh no, I think he was injured that year. Wasn't it after the Stan Van Gundy or something? He got hurt and he turned it down supposedly. But like before that, I don't know.
gotcha.
I don't know. He just it's always something weird. I don't really care.
He'll take okay.
But they got one guy who asked the same question about 3 times. Can I answer his question?
Which question?
No, he asked about Willie Cauley Stein. I say Willie Cauley
Willie
Stein.
Cauley Stein.
Wendell
Willie
Carter
Green?
Jr.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wendell
Wendell
Carter
Carter. Yeah, pull it up. I
Yeah.
don't know where it is. Where is it?
He said that was a little crazy. He
That
said
was
that was a little crazy. He said this. No, I don't have any issue with Wendell Carter Jr. I think a Wendell Carter Jr. trade, basically you're trading to upgrade Larry in that scenario, which I do think you should do. But yeah, your trade. So that has nothing to do with JV. I like Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's an ideal guy. I do think the idea of that player is better than the player right now. But shit, I think Chris might have mentioned that he's back in the starting lineup right now. And they trying to repair some of his value. So
Orlando's been kind of bad lately, huh, Chaz? Like they've really kind of fallen off, huh? Like
Orlando. Oh yeah. You starting to see that youth catch up to him a little bit.
Yeah. So let's go Lido. Chris. You already think Herb can shoot 38% from 3, Chris, in the preseason defending Dyson?
I mean, I'll be honest, man. I got to take my L. I didn't think there would be a point even to start the year. Herb would be at 38% or going towards 40%. I wouldn't have believed it. So, I mean, he's shooting the hell out the ball. I think I saw something earlier. He like 49 or 45, 40, and 85 right now.
Yep.
Imagine that. Imagine Herb's percent. Like that's kind of crazy. So, but Herb even being close to that, bro, dude that might be lucky to get 5 shots a night, like an all-world defender. A dude that's, jump shot has been in question since he got into the league, and he's only going to shoot. Chaz mentioned it earlier. He 9 times out of 10, he only shooting that bitch from one side, and that's the right corner. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta give him credit, and that just goes into, my further, depression and disappointment about Dyson, man. You let this dude like turn into a great shooter on your watch, like when you knew who was people that was trying to support you, man. It's crazy, bro. Like
Herb gonna flirt with 50, 40, 90.
Hey.
Ross.
Hey.
Ross, the numbers are the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. I don't know what you want to say. I ain't making it up. I mean, just go.
I almost called you out your name, Ross. I ain't gonna lie.
You call that man Bean? That's crazy.
You want to talk about Herb?
Yeah, I saw the 54%, but actually, as of tonight, it's 57%. So that's kind of filthy, and it's 4 attempts, so it's not, it's not flukish. The shooting is, look, the shooting is real. You gotta just call it what it is. It's real. Like I don't now if he's not gonna shoot 50%, but you know what I'm saying. If we could get those 2 to 3, like we've been saying, like once it gets past 4, I'm concerned, because then, in my opinion, you're allowing the defense to dictate the, the flow of your offense. And that's not, Herb's points, Herb's threes are lanyard. Like, they shouldn't be necessary, but when you get them, that should work. You know what I'm saying? So man, shout out to him though for putting the work in. I mean, he, like you said, Justin, you saw a midi tonight. You saw.
I wonder if he continuously. I wonder if that's gonna become a thing. Not like a thing. I'm talking daily, but I wonder if he's been working. I haven't seen him work on it, but I wonder if he's like trying to add that to his game.
Yo, me and Chris, I want to hear what Ross got to say, but me and Chris did a show. It's coming out tomorrow. We talked about like Herb actually having more to his game than being allowed what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Just based on the circumstances. You never go see it. Like, it's like that video of Kai Jones doing dribble pull-ups and shoot threes. Like, if you get back in the league, you're never gonna do that. Like, what are you showing us that for?
Right. Ross,
we all laughing at the same comment too.
I agree in general with the principle of what Lito's trying to say about you don't want Herb taking too many, but like you now have a year's worth of evidence that like he can hit open threes, and tonight he went 4 for 4. And if they'd have left him open for 6 of those wide open ass threes in the right corner, I would have wanted him to take 6. And if they'd have left him open for 10, he's got to take 10. Because the second he stops taking them is the second that his confidence drops. Like if they're just not going to guard you out there and you've now proven that you can hit that shot, what are you saying to yourself and your teammates when you don't take it? I mean, I understand, generally speaking, none of us want Herb Jones forcing up 3-pointers. That's a bad shot. But tonight, those are warm-up 3-pointers. That's a coach in sweats just passing you a ball and you're catching and shooting it. He's got to shoot that. He's got to shoot it. I don't care whether he takes 20 of them if they're like that.
You know who he's turning into? Bruce Bowen. Like that same corner. And then he's gonna really, bro. I thought Herb defensively. I mean, we talk about this, but like the shit he does is, I don't know the highlight plays. It's really unreal. Like, how do you even see that? Because one, when they get the layup on the first, I think Brandon gets the layup right, and then he turns back. How do you sprint to the other side of the floor to intercept a pass like that?
When was that, Five? When did you do that? First or second half?
That's the second half. Second half. I think it's third quarter.
Second half, third quarter.
Has a president of mind. One, he throws it back in bounds. Then sprints back. He beats his own teammates. Sprints the lane and then dimes Zion for a layup. Like, we got to start talking about this, like in a sense of like, this might be one of the great defenders we've witnessed. This is not hyperbole. I'm not bullshitting when I say this, but the fucked up thing is nobody cares about defense anymore. So it's like, you got to start saying shit like this for somebody to even pay attention. Herb Jones might be the best defender I've ever seen.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Like, it might be that.
Can I add on to that point?
Yeah.
I wrote an article.
Live,
Yeah. Thank you.
The motherfuckers don't be throwing shit.
Because you ain't go Euro through it. You go actually.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So I wrote an article on Herb last week, and to Five's point, I said in the article, I said it on this pod, the things that you see from him on the defensive side of the floor, his instincts, his ability to anticipate a play, that's not normal. Like you don't get that from XYZ basketball player. You don't see that from stars. Like even when, let's say, Paul George was a two-way defensive player, right? Like he wasn't as good as Herb was. You know what I'm saying? In my article, I called Herb. I said he was my basketball comp. He's Scottie Pippen. Like that's the only guy I could compare him to as far as like, you know, when and in the article I said when the Bulls played the Lakers in the 91 finals and they put Scottie on Magic. When they made that switch, it completely shut down the Lakers offense. There was no more showtime. Like that shit was dead. And listen, what Five just said about that pass that he intercepted. If y'all in the chat, if y'all know about this, whatever, I'm gonna just tell y'all. There's a play where Ed Reed picks off, and I put this in the article too. Ed Reed picks off Peyton Manning. And he talked about the play. He said he had studied Peyton Manning's he studied his actions for a week, right? He read that when he pump faked the one side, he thrown to that side. So what Ed Reed did was he baited him. He played center, he played the center of the field, basically going more right center. And as soon as he saw him pump fake, he made a 180, came back the other way. That's exactly what Herb did tonight. He fucking 180 the play and then had the wherewithal to throw the ball back.
That's
But he had the wherewithal. You could put it up.
I'm trying to find. I got it. This is what you said. I've never seen a dude be a computer on defense the way Herb is, just analyzing shit and taking it away. I don't know what the final version of Herb looks like, but I hope it was a defensive player of the year on it.
There it is. Like there it is. I really hope we don't take this man's
sorry.
That's crazy. I really hope we don't take this man's defensive ability for granted. You had the Drew Holidays of the world, and Drew's still doing this thing, but Herb is a beast of a completely different animal. You know what I'm saying? Like he just cold. He cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that the Pelicans as a team are top 5 in 3-point percentage, but they are
What are the
bottom
attempts?
5
In attempts.
exactly, but they're
In attempts.
bottom 5 in 3-point frequency.
Number
Yeah.
26, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They're-
What
I
you
did
think
not
of
know that. That's a great stat.
They're becoming the Knicks.
Make sure y'all smash that like button. Got 300 people in here. Y'all gotta smash the like button. Go ahead, Five.
They're becoming the Knicks. That playoff year, right? They played the Hawks. That's what they look like. They would shoot good threes. They're trying to get to the rim and to the free throw line, but they're just making good threes because you had to go out there and contest. I think this team is equipped of being a team that can shoot 40
That's your
threes a
stat,
game.
Five. They're now 5-1.
I know, yeah, they fucked it up. But listen, I think they're equipped of shooting 43s a game. I'm not saying like just shooting 43s will get you a win, but I think it opens up everything, especially if Zion's your guy. If Zion is your guy, then that absolutely opens up spacing lanes for him to get to the rim. But if you continue to try to, shoot middies and pass up good threes, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a really inconsistent basketball team.
Do y'all that A again? Do
Why you put thing like that?
Do y'all ever think teams
Y'all
will
stupid,
teams will respect the spacing around Zion?
Man, that's
What do
such a
you mean?
complicated question, bro.
Well, no. I asked that because I'm watching games where you got Trey Murphy on one side, where you got Trey Murphy at the wing, you got CJ McCollum here, and you got Hawkins on the opposite side, and teams are still guarding him with three to four people in the paint. Do you think that over time it's just going to be forced to change, or do you think it just may never matter? Teams are going to sell out on stopping Zion and just living with good shooters taking shots, role players.
Well, you go ahead, Fa.
I'm just gonna say this: if the team just allows them to play more, like you have lineups with CJ, Zion, Trey Murphy, and Jordan Hawkins, and you allow them to shoot that shit, you will change eventually.
Yeah.
But the Pelicans are so inconsistent. Then of course, I just guard Zion because we know y'all really just want to get to the rim.
That's what.
Go ahead, Chad.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I think a lot of it has to do with kind of the bud being off the rolls with Zion, them not necessarily getting a ton of national media recognition. Like even when you listen to like some of the people nationally who cover the team, it's like you clearly don't watch this team like every night. Like this is not something you watch, right? So like people don't really know who Jordan Hawkins is necessarily. I don't think. They're not, they're like, well, if that guy plays, look out for him, but most likely he's not gonna play. They got this real killer Jose Alvarado. Watch that guy. All right, it's gonna be some shit like that, or Trey been out for a couple months, and since he's been back, he hasn't necessarily been Trey Murphy just yet. Well, he had a couple instances, but now it's not as So they saying, well, we got Dyson Daniels, just let him do whatever he want. And you've seen several times where a player will look at Dyson and look at Zion and say, "Oh, fuck him," like that, like And so I think in the short term, you just got to have guys out there who are able to take advantage of that situation. And once the more they take advantage of those scenarios, you'll see somebody say, well, fuck, we just gonna live with guarding him maybe 2-on-1 or sending help from the weak side, just something. We can't just continue to crowd the paint and let Trey Murphy and Hawkins, and the way Hawkins moves, the gravity, like motherfuckers like Klay Thompson out there, as how he moves. And one thing I'm glad about the Warriors. Zion did this one fucking thing in the first quarter that I never saw him do, and that's when I knew something was different. He spun off a screen. They went to set a screen. He spun off that bitch like Steph started doing. I'm like, oh, he's serious. This is something different. But it didn't matter though. He still got 9 shots.
It's funny you mentioned that, Chaz. You know how like in shape you have to be? Oh god.
What the fuck?
That's crazy.
Who did that? Lala?
Who did that?
No, that's the homie Superman. He on Twitter, man. He just
crazy.
That's Tiger.
I'm getting played in this.
Dude.
That's wild.
Dude, I like literally looked up. That was scary as shit. That was I don't
Bro, that was good, dog.
I don't know how you
good.
yo,
That was
that was I don't even know. Man, we're hour 10. We're done. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Chris and Lito have a show coming out tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Chaz, do you have anything coming out the next couple days?
I got a expose dropping soon. Got an expose show dropping fucking soon.
Friday night against what you got?
We'll see.
We'll see. Friday night against OKC. We will see y'all. Lito. Oh shit, Lito, go ahead.
Damn, I ain't even really have nothing. My bad. Man, the Pelicans beat the shit out the Jazz. They beat the Jazz out the Jazz. You know what I'm saying? Let us pray for those brothers, because putting 150 points on the team and then they having to play basketball like again, that's crazy. That's all I have.
Later.